To the Republican whip, the distinguished gentleman from Missouri, Mr. Blunt.
Gentleman from Missouri is recognized for 4 minutes.
I thank the chair. I thank the gentleman for yielding. I'm in opposition to the bill. It goes without saying that the authors of our nation's founding document understood better than most that freedom to practice one's religion represented one of the most fundamental, most inalienable rights bestowed on us. It was, after all, the reason that many came to America, the reason that many fought to found America, and the founders made sure to include the free exercise of religion among the first rights they included in the Constitution. But while the founders saw the Constitution as a means of ensuring religious freedom and that be protected at all levels, this bill, innocently enough named the Employment Non-Discrimination Act, would actually have the effect of rolling back these protections depending on where you happen to work. Perhaps even worse, it deliberately sets out to create a constitutional conflict between one's right to religious freedom and another's right to sue you for practicing it. The tension this bill could create is not difficult to foresee in practice. For instance, if you chose to keep a Bible at your workstation, or perhaps even display in your cubicle a verse you found particularly meaningful, the legal question is simple, created by this legislation. Can one or more of your coworkers, seeing that passage, seeing that Bible, understanding there are passages there about homosexuality, bring suit against you and your employer on the grounds that mere presence of religious symbols constitutes a, quote, hostile workplace in which they're then forced to work? The answer, it seems to me, depends more on where you work than whether or not the position on your desk of the Bible is offensive. Employees, for example, at Southwest Baptist University, where I was the president before I came to Congress, would be exempt from the standards of this measure because they have a relationship with a specific denomination. But employees of either a Christian bookstore or a Muslim bookstore would be granted no such dispensation, potentially being forced to choose between upholding the faith traditions which they are based in which they require customers and complying with a law that says the free exercise of religion can be abrogated by a whim of Congress. This is the wrong decision for us to expect them to make. We're told, however, that any of the legal questions here will be decided and settled in court. The very reason the Constitution established this exercise of religion as the first of all the amendments is so these issues would not have to be settled in court. There's really no reason here to create a new protected class. This bill puts in this newly protected freedom, it puts it on a collision course with the oldest of all the protected freedoms, the freedom of religion. The inevitable upshot of pitting two classes of people against each other, one protected by the Constitution, the other by Congress, is litigation, and lots of it. We don't need to create more reasons for litigation in the country. We don't need to create differences from court jurisdiction to court jurisdiction. We need to go back and look at this issue again. We need to defeat this bill today. I urge my colleagues to vote no. I yield back.
The gentleman yields back his time. Gentleman from California.